Watches, something that I love, and I know many people out there do love watches as well. But I'll be the first one to tell you, I didn't grow up liking watches. I wasn't a child that looked at watches and been like, oh, I want one, I need one. In fact, to be honest, I was the complete opposite. I wasn't massively interested in watches at all. And as I got a bit older, then, I don't know, maybe they started becoming an interest to me as just an accessory. So I wasn't like into watches for the sake of, you know, owning this amazing automatic watch or self-winding watch. That just probably didn't interest me at the beginning. Well, it didn't interest me at the beginning. I didn't even know about it, to be honest. But I started wearing watches just to have a watch on the wrist and probably just to look nice. I don't know, something just switched. Well, I tell you what it is. It's the truth, isn't it? And the truth of the matter is everybody knows Rolex, right? I don't think there's going to be many people you're going to meet in the world that isn't going to know what a Rolex watch is. And that's kind of what did it for me. I kind of like, you know, I saw a Rolex as success. You've made it. And even though I hadn't made it to anywhere where I want to make it, I just kind of got drawn to that persona of owning a Rolex. And shock horror, I don't own a Rolex, okay? But then that got me watching videos and looking at Rolexes and then understanding, you know, different elements of watches and stuff like that. So, you know, the crystals, sapphire crystals, stuff like that. And then I found myself hooked, watching and watching and watching. And yes, admittedly, it was all Rolexes. And I think that's the truth, isn't it? You know, Rolex will draw people in, and then you may start looking at watches and see what watches you like, or, you know, you start watching people on YouTube. You know, I watch a lot of Teddy on YouTube. I think he's great. Nico is also good as well. I like him. They introduce more watches to you, and I think that is very important, that maybe you don't go rushing out and just buy a Rolex for the sake of owning a Rolex. If you do, great, and if it makes you happy, fantastic, you know, because at the end of the day, owning a watch, that's what it's all about, that it makes you happy. You know, we all wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a passion of owning a watch. But as I started watching YouTube videos, you know, and I saw other watches and I thought, I quite like that. I kind of like lost, well, not that I ever had an identity or anything like that in watches, but I kind of became lost in watches. Like, there was so much out there. I like that, I like that. And I pretty much just became a kiddie in a sweet shop, you know, couldn't get enough of it. It still is, I still do it now, you know, watch YouTube videos after YouTube videos. But don't get me wrong, once you get to a certain point of watching them, it does become repetitive. But I can remember going through and it was like the perfect one watch, you know, the one watch that you can buy and wear with everything and stuff like that. And when you have limited budgets, that's probably what you're looking for, is that one watch, one luxury watch. And that's so subjective, isn't it? What is a luxury watch to somebody? You know, is a luxury watch below 5 grand, over 5 grand, over 10 grand, over 50 grand? You know, what is luxury to one person may not be to another, so it's so subjective. And I can remember being in time thinking, wow, somebody could spend, I don't know, £5,000 on a watch that just does the time. Are you nuts? Like, that's what your phone does. In fact, your phone does more. But I guess it's like sport, you know, if you follow football and you enjoy football, you get it. And if you don't, you don't. So if you don't get it, you don't get it. So if you ain't got the watch bug, then you ain't got the watch bug, and you're never gonna understand spending that sort of money on it. Which is understandable, it's fine, I get it. I was in that position too one time. And then I came across the Tudor Black Bay 58. And to me, even now, and I'll get on to talking about it, but to me, that was like seeing love at first sight. I was like, whoa, I had to pause it, rewind it. I want to see this watch again. Watched it. again, watched it and I'm thinking, right, this watch absolutely looks incredible. Like, it's fantastic, it's beautiful. I find it's classy, it's vintage, it's kind of everything that I like. It's not bulky, it's not, here I am, look at me, I'm on the wrist. It's nothing like that. But again, if you know, you know. So if you know your watches and you, oh, look at that, he's wearing a Black Bay 58. Bam, a conversation can start like that. And I'm all for that, conversation breakers. You never know who you're going to meet, you never know who you're going to talk to, and that can just, make that step a bit easier. But yeah, so that's pretty much my rundown on why I got into watches and what I like about watches and stuff like that. So it started off with this big ideology of, I want a Rolex, I want to look successful, big, flashy. And then once I gave it some time, and when I say time, I mean like probably 6 months of just continuously looking at watches, I then found my style and what I like and stuff like that. And it's different for everybody. Some people do like the flashy, and don't get me wrong, I don't think you can be into watches and say that, oh, I don't like Rolex. Because I do want a Rolex at some point. Maybe if it's just an Explorer, something really plain and simple. But this whole flashy Rolex it's not something I want now. They asked me at the beginning of wanting a watch or a luxury watch. That is what I wanted. I wanted the diamonds on the bezel. I wanted flash, cash. It's not something I want now. But the Tudor, which is obviously, made by Rolex, and the parent company is Rolex, so I'm not going to slate them, which I would never do anyway, but it's just something that fitted me. It's kind of like, you like watches, Rolex. You're into watches, then, you don't have to just own a Rolex, you can own something else. And that's what I did. And I bought my first luxury watch, and it was a Black Bay 58, as you could probably guess. And it's just, the original, it's not the blue. But saying that, I got, big disclaimer now, it wasn't the original that got me into the Black Bay 58. What it actually was the bronze. Oh, man, that was stunning. It was, even now, beautiful. I absolutely love it. Like the bronze Black Bay 58. Yeah, that is something I would like. But at the time of me wanting to buy my first luxury watch, it was just too much. I didn't want to spend that much money on my first watch, or my first, big purchase watch. And the bronze was quite a bit more expensive. So I went for the original because I just think, it's a fit all purpose, and it is, I wear it to football training, I wear it to the gym, I wear it when I go to court, I wear it when I see clients, I wear it when I go to work, I wear it when I go to uni, I wear it when I go to eat. The only thing I don't do is I don't sleep with it on. I call it my other half, because that's pretty much what it's like. We're inseparable, me and my watch. And if I lost it or something like that, I would be absolutely traumatized. But enough talking now. I want to actually show you my watch and tell you the things I like and maybe the things I don't so much like about it. So as you can see, this is my Black Bay 58, and I just want to start off by saying, these people that do videos on watches all the time, as in, Teddy and Nikos, they get amazing shots of the watches, and they're able to make the watches look incredible. And I gotta say, how they look incredible on their videos, they actually look incredible in person. So they do a magnificent job of actually getting quality shots of the watch. I've tried my best here, but yeah. So this is my Black Bay, and as you can see there, it's got a screw down crown. The screw down crown allows it to obviously have quite a deep water resistance, and this is 200 meters you can go down. So not that I'm ever going to use 200 meters mine, but it's just nice to have that there, and you never know what life may bring. You can see how dirty my watch is. It needs a polish, doesn't it? Look at all the scratches. Wow, incredible. But like I've said, it's not a showpiece. It wasn't bought to be a showpiece. This was bought, you know, to be my other half. This is what I wear on a daily basis. So I'll just start off. The price of the Black Bay 58s on Tudor at the moment are £3,450. The Black Bay 58, as far as I'm aware, was introduced by Tudor in 2018, and it's obviously based on the Tudor Submariner from 1958. So that's why it's got its vintage looks, you see. The case size is 39mm, which I find for me is perfect. I love like smaller watches, to be honest. I'm not a fan of these big watches. Yeah, it's not for me. The thickness of it is 11.7mm, and it's got a lug to lug of 47.5. The crystal is sapphire, and do you know what? I didn't actually realise, like, I've knocked, as you can imagine, look at the scratches on the actual watch, but I've knocked the watch about so much, and the sapphire crystal is actually fantastic. There's me trying to get the rose emblem there. Very nice, pretty. But like I said, these you know, designated YouTube channels are fantastic for that. It has a 70-hour power reserve, and it's got decent lume on it as well. But this is my video, and I hope you've enjoyed it.